And I'm wondering if the version of you uh, when you were like in the heart of your rugby career, you were really excelling and so forth. If that version or iteration of you could see this version, what would that rugby version think of this version of Ian? What might he say about this version?
I think that version would probably be pretty impressed in terms of what they've gone on to do. And I know so many people say this, in terms of teachers saying you're not going to do X, Y, and Z, and and people have a bad experience with teachers at school. And I remember one saying to my mum that the reason that he's not doing what he's doing is because you can't speak English, and I can still remember that.
Let's reverse it then. This version of Ian, what advice or wisdom might you lend the younger version of Ian who was kind of entrenched in rugby at that time?
I would definitely say you're right to listen to your mum and your dad, in the sense of make sure that you've got something to fall back on.
Ian, you use the language fall back, and my parents actually use that same language with me, like a fallback plan. I'm wondering, as you look at where you're at now, though, did you actually fall back into this, or did you fall forward into it?
Fall forward, actually.
Mm-hmm.
When I reflect on it, yeah, because I couldn't have fallen back because I hadn't achieved the stuff that I've achieved now, and I think that path kind of, the path opens up naturally. It's been sports orientated because that's where my interest and love has been, and actually making a shift now in terms of going more into the corporate spaces, to help people within those environments, and kind of leaving a lot of the sports stuff behind. I've still got a toe in there, but it used to be more of a body. But I've actually managed to kind of shift that focus, but it's still really looking at developing and helping people to perform and to optimize that performance.
You've helped other people that are up against similar things to what you've been up against. And then you said this phrase, to help people redefine what's possible. And that makes me wonder, how have you and are you still redefining what's possible for yourself?
Here, I'm feeling a sense of awe in the way Ian is coming to help people redefine themselves. I wonder if he is able to witness his own process of redefining himself. People often are able to both be and witness themselves simultaneously. I'm hoping to draw attention to this because I found that when people are able to witness more preferred versions of themselves, that can have important therapeutic value.
What's your purpose in asking Ian about the conversations between the rugby past and present versions of himself?
Yeah, conversations between different iterations of the self. This has been something that's fascinated me for several years. There was these questions that David Epstein and Carl Tom used to ask called internalized other questions. This was like in the 1980s. And that inspired me to think about, what if we ask people questions about past versions of themselves and even future versions of themselves, right? And I think if this gets done even somewhat effectively, it can help people step out of themselves and actually witness themselves. And the thing about that is it's hard to see ourselves while we're being ourselves.
Ian connected his skill at rugby and boarding school and beyond to his way of rising above racism and marginalization. I thought that was very powerful, but viewers might wonder if this might have been your agenda and not his.
Well, they can absolutely wonder that. I guess one thing I'd say is, I don't know if it's my agenda or his agenda. It seems more like a societal agenda in terms of some of what's going on. But for me, I don't see it as problematic to have some sort of, agenda is a very loaded word, but maybe it's an agenda, but it's, to me, it's co-creation, right? And so in a process of co-creation, I will be inviting observations and introducing language, If people could create these stories all on their own, why would they be inviting me to be a part of the process to begin with, right? They would have sort of dealt with this all on their own. So I think people who are seeking our consultation are often doing so because they're having trouble connecting some of the dots in this kind of story creation. And by the way, racism can be one reason why. And, by being an active participant in the process, yes, I'm asking questions, but within those questions, I sometimes have to introduce language or ideas to help tip of the cap to Wittgenstein, to help move people beyond the limits of their worlds as they know them currently.